Hello, my name is Christian Morin, and I'm Vice President of Integrations and Cloud Services, as well as Chief Security Officer for Genetec. Not a day goes by without seeing some form of cybersecurity incident hit the news. Whether it's a breach where a database containing personal identifiable information of users of a certain website or company gets released, or payment card information, to things a little bit scarier, like the recent headlines where Russia was caught red-handed infiltrating the US power grid. They could have literally just shut down power by the snap of a fingers for the entire US, which would have caused dramatic chaos and would have put probably hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of lives in jeopardy. Cybersecurity is something that is very, very near and dear to my heart and Genetec's heart. And if you look at what's happening in our industry, you have these plethora of devices that are making their way in. Whether it's security cameras, access control controllers, whatever type of device, the so-called Internet of Things is really putting our critical infrastructure, our corporations, our schools, our homes at greater risk, because there's clearly very little to no regulations basically governing the manufacture and the supply of these devices. More often than not, manufacturers of these devices look at the life cycle of these devices based on the hardware's life cycle as opposed to the software. And security vulnerabilities get discovered over time. And the longer that device is in the field, the higher the likelihood of a security vulnerability being discovered. And manufacturers today simply do not do enough. And herein comes the problem as to selecting a vendor you can trust and selecting somebody that can provide you solutions that will address that issue and that will be responsible. So how one goes about selecting said vendor that will actually you can trust. And unfortunately, trust cannot be purchased. Trust has to be earned. And because of that, this is why at Genetec we take cybersecurity extremely seriously, and we go through tremendous measures to ensure that we do the right things, to ensure that our products are properly hardened and will not cause that next security breach, but in fact will help prevent it. We have a number of teams at Genetec that work on cybersecurity. In fact, it's their sole and unique responsibility. These teams work with well-known frameworks such as ISO 27001 or NIST, and well-known tools and best practices to ensure that our products are built using the proper techniques, that our products are built securely, and with security as a fundamental ingredient as opposed to being an afterthought, and also how we operate these products and these services. And this is especially true with respect to cloud services, where Genetec is actually the operator of these services. As part of that framework that we've put in place for security, we're constantly on the lookout for new vulnerabilities or new elements that may put both Genetec and our customers at risk. Whether it's in an operating system that we use, or whether it's in an open source library that is part of one of our products, or perhaps in the device that one of our partners supplies, we're looking at what can make an impact and basically assess that impact and then put any corrective measures and mitigate that risk should that be needed. And we'll then communicate that to our customers, ensuring that they correct these problems and that they basically minimize the risk and the vulnerabilities in their environment. We also perform our own penetration tests and vulnerability assessments, a static code analysis, and use the latest and the best means to secure our software and ensure that we ourselves did not create a vulnerability or we didn't create a hole in our platform. And also work with third parties to do the same thing to ensure that we cover as broadly as possible. As part of our strategy, we also work with the best of breed in our ecosystem and have basically forged partnerships with some camera vendors, whether it's Axis or Bosch, where we've basically put in place an end-to-end security solution, because our product is only responsible for a certain portion of the environment or the system. We have to look at the entire system and all the different components that compose that ecosystem. And if we are to have true end-to-end security, we have to bring these partners into the equation. And this is why we forged these partnerships, to ensure that we can actually provide better security and better capabilities to our customers. Lastly, I would like to invite everybody to visit the Jantech Trust Center, www.jantech.com/trust. On that site, you're going to find a whole bunch of resources that are going to help you understand what Jantech does from a cybersecurity perspective, and more importantly, what do we do to earn your trust. And one of the cornerstones of earning that trust has to do with openness and transparency, and that's what the Trust Center is all about. Because we truly believe that being forthcoming and open about any cyber vulnerability or any risk pertaining to the usage of our product needs to be properly communicated and out there, so that our customers can actually address the problems before they happen. Thank you. Have a great day.